A lot of people who know me quite well said I should make a video on YouTube talking about my squatting days. It's hard to believe, looking at me now, that I used to be a squatter. I used to dress the same way as I do now, even as a squatter. And I often think back to my life and when I was young, could I have lived it differently? The path I took was hard, but at the same time, it was interesting, exciting. Much better than getting a 9-to-5 job and having those holidays every year. Buying a house which doesn't belong to you for 30 years because it belongs to the bank and you're having to pay off. So I've ended up now in this situation, but all my life's been like that. I've always been lucky. Every time I've fallen on my feet. Serendipity has led the way. Now I'm comfortable. The only thing that's missing is a girlfriend. And by the looks of it, the way things are going with this virus, I won't be able to leave the country and go back to Thailand. I'm going to have to stay in England. But enough of all that. That's for another video. So, I'm going to start my story at one of the times when I fell and I ended up with nothing. It happens so often. I went down to the, this is in London, I went to the council office and I've been on their list, waiting list for years. And they always told me right from the beginning when I signed on their list that there's a 20-year waiting list. Anyway, this time when I went down, they said, yes, I am eligible for a place, a 1-bedroom flat. In a council flat, 5 on the 5th floor, in a not so good area, Elephant and Castle, just off of Walworth Road, next to the market, East Street Market. So in a way it was quite good because I liked East Street Market. Good for fresh vegetables, cheap. I went and viewed the place and I decided, go for it. And at the office they said, that's great. If you like to just bring your wife in and get her to sign as well, the place is yours. Wow, they didn't know that. Me and my wife had broken up a few years before that and I didn't know where the hell she was. So when I told them this, they said, oh, we can't give you a 1-bedroom then. We're going to have to give you a studio flat. A studio flat, you know what that means? It means 1 room with a separate kitchen and a bathroom. And I thought that was an insult. I'm an English person, born in, well, my father's from Fiji actually. My mother's English, born in this country, and I've ended up like this, homeless, so to speak, having to squat, and they're offering me a studio flat when they're giving all these flats and houses away to those people who come from other countries with no money. It just didn't seem fair. So I told them I'm squatting the place and I kept the key. So I went back there. It was completely empty. And I sat on the floor. I had absolutely nothing. Everything is gone. All I had was the clothes I was sitting in, and I cried. Yeah, I cried. I can see it now. But after I got over that, I started to think to myself, I'm not going to be beaten by life. I often thought that. Every time I lost a squat, I thought, they're not. At the beginning, I would feel down and think to myself, I can't go on doing this squatting. It's just too much hard work doing up places and moving about. Especially if I've got furniture, trying to move that without the van, without money. But every time I used to see another place, as I walked along, I think, oh, that's a good squat. And then I find the strength. I don't know where it came from, but I would find the strength to do it all over again. I was in removals at one time, and that was the best job I ever had, but it was the hardest job. I used to go back home, and I was so tired I would fall asleep. Sit there and just fall asleep. That's how hard the job was, but it was the most fun. There was, oh, that's going on to another story actually, so forget that. Let's get back to the squat. I made the decision that I'm not going to be beaten by life. First of all, I had to get some money. Well, actually, what happened, I was on the social at the time, and I think you get about £11. £11 a week, I think it was. You was paid a weekly fee at the time. So I went to the social, and I got my money, and I was walking through near Sussex Gardens, which is a nice part of London, just off of Oxford Street. And I saw all these mattresses thrown away. They were in good condition, single mattresses. There was 13 of them. It was a hotel, a small hotel, which had thrown them out. I think it was a tax thing, you know. Instead of paying the tax man, they can just buy new mattresses and not pay the tax man. It comes off the tax they owe. So I had that £11 in my pocket, and I thought, if I can get those mattresses, I'm going too far. Now let's go back a little bit. I was in a hostel just around the corner from Harrods. It was one of those student hostels which have tourist students, people who come to England to travel around England, and they want to do it with a backpack, the cheapest way. So it was full of these type of people. Now, when I saw those mattresses, I thought of that hostel, the nice people that I met there, and I thought, wow, I could turn my flat, my one-bedroom flat, council flat in the wrong area, into a hostel. And I've got to have those mattresses. So I went over to the road, and this fellow was just getting in his van, you know, one of those white vans as they have. So I said to him, listen, I'll give you £10. So that left me with £1. I'll give you £10, I said, if you deliver those mattresses now to my place in Elephant Castle. And he did. So I had £1 left to live on for a week. So I went off that day or the next day to get a job as a courier, because I had a bicycle. And I was working as a courier, and then a few months later, as a courier, I happened to meet another courier, a girl, absolutely drop-dead gorgeous, this girl. She was about 23 years of age. English. It's unusual. Normally I don't go for English girls. But her father, it turns out, was a doctor. So she was the type of girl that I like, intelligent, not just beautiful and sexy, but intelligent as well. That's a necessity for me. And we just got chatting away. I didn't really think I was going to get her because, as far as I was concerned, she was just drop dead gorgeous and too good for me. But as luck would have it, we ended up being boyfriend and girlfriend. And when I told her about my place, what I was going to do, you know, and turn it into a hostel for next summer, she came around and looked at it, and there was nothing in it at the time. I think I was sleeping at her place at the time. And she said exactly what I thought at the time. Listen, you're in a council block, you're on the 5th floor, you're in an awful area. How the hell are you going to get tourists to come to your place? But when you're pushed to the wall, as I was, you have to do whatever it takes to succeed. And as I say, luck was always with me. As long as I didn't want too much. I couldn't ask for a Rolls Royce, but I could ask for something much less, which would still get me like a bus pass maybe. And just a reminder, if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Or enough money to buy a bus pass so I could go on the bus and go wherever I wanted. Yeah, serendipity. That's the secret of my success in life. So, I would think of something like a table. I need a table. And then the same day or the next day, I'll be walking along, and this particular one with the table and the chairs, I was walking past this old shop, which I think was derelict, maybe for 10, 20 years. It was filthy on the outside. And I scraped away the dirt a little bit, just a little bit, and I looked inside, and it was an old cafe. And it had tables and chairs in there, but the tables were, and the chairs, it wasn't really a chair, it was those long bench type of chairs. And it was all attached with metal. So that day, or that night, I went back and got in the back way with a torch in my hand and dismantled the things. I found if I dismantled it, I just had the bare frame, which wasn't too heavy. It was big, but not too heavy. And I carried it all the way back to my flat, piece by piece. Our flat was about half a mile away, but it was a good workout. And then everything I thought about, as I said, I found it the same day or the next day. Now the most amazing one was a cooker. I thought I need a cooker to cook breakfast for these people. And it'd be good if I had an oven as well. So that afternoon I was coming back to the flat and I found it looked like a brand new cooker. It was electric oven with a separate top, electric top. And I got very excited at the time. But then I realized I can't take it anywhere. It's too heavy to carry. It wasn't that far from where I live, but there's no way I could carry that thing. So I walked around the corner and down maybe 100 yards or less. Damn it, I couldn't believe it. There was an old pram frame thrown away with the wheels attached. I grabbed that thing, rushed back, put the cooker on and the top, the hob, and took it straight to my place. All I had was a hammer, no other tools. Maybe a screwdriver, a hammer and a screwdriver. That's it. That's all I had. Well, I managed to get the top off of the kitchen cabinet. Took the top off, ripped it off, and then I got the hob, and you can't believe it. This hob was the perfect fit for that top. It just slid straight in as if it was made for it. As I said, luck.